gang. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Growing with the Greens. Once again, I'm Janae.
And I'm Tanya.
And we're growing with the Greens. So,
yes. Growing on up to... Sorry.
Growing on up? No, it's moving on up. But
you know, I'm trying to do the growing. Anywho.
I don't think she's ever watched that show. So listen, okay? Put in the comments if you even know what show she thought that she was doing. Because that wasn't it. I'm just playing.
Anywho.
All right.
This is episode 1. We are so excited to finally share with you a little bit about what we discussed during our downtime that we want to be able to share with you guys. And the first episode we feel was best to describe self-love and acceptance and our journey to that and our growing journey to it, right?
Yeah, definitely a growing journey because I feel like we're still in that journey.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You never stop trying to find new ways on how to love yourself.
Yeah, and redefine yourself of who you are. Yeah, because what I was when I was a teenager, I am definitely not that today.
Not even a teenager. I feel like who you personally are as a woman now, like even as we have been in this relationship, you've redefined yourself numerous times.
For sure.
And I know that was
same
one
for you as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I was just about to say that was one of our conversations years ago about how I was scared of being in such a long relationship and like your partner like changing within that relationship. Right. Like that's hard.
For sure.
And I had a difficult time with it for a minute because I remember like back in the day I used to always say, well, because we have a slight age difference on us, right? So I used to say that there's no way I'm changing. Like Janae is who Janae is and this is how I'm gonna stay.
Yeah.
But and I was like, you're the one that keep on changing. Like we was in year 3 and I felt like she changed like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? I was like, how much more change can actually happen? But I feel like that's really important for that change to continuously happen. And if you're in a relationship and that's happening, like I feel like that's even better because you're giving your partner like that space and that positive space to be able to change for themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Positive and also safe space to be able to be like, I don't know what this is, but I'm kind of liking who I am right now. And somebody to be able to be like, I see you, I see the change. I'm trying to get used to it, so give me some like grace, but I'm going to support you, right? I think that was the main goal and what we saw throughout like our journey and our team because there's a lot of difficulties there.
Yeah, there was a lot of difficulties. Only because like when you're in a relationship, you want to think about yourself, but then you're so worried also about your partner, and how your partner will accept that change inside of you, So so that's why we decided to kind of have this as a one of our first episodes and one of our first like real conversations about self-acceptance and self-love because I feel like it's literally the footprint of who you are.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I know I was told when I was back in the day, which, it's crazy I was told this because it really wasn't instilled in me, but it was always like self-preservation. Like you have to take care of yourself before you're able to take care of other people.
Right.
But I feel like we grew up thinking that that's what we did.
Yeah.
But we still weren't taking care of ourselves.
Right. Yeah, because even though we were told these things, we were shown something different.
That's
always
what it was.
Taking care of somebody else, nurturing somebody else, caring for somebody else. I mean, especially with both of us, right?
Yeah.
We had to deal with a lot of that. But before we get to that.
That's true. I never even thought about that. That we were told like these things, but what we saw from like our mothers really, like they wanted us to take care of ourselves first,
right.
But in actuality, we saw them taking care of everybody else before they took care of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
Took over.
Yeah.
So I mean, what is self-love and acceptance? I think the definition of it is self-regard for oneself. and happiness and joy, right? So your own happiness, your own joy, what you give yourself, right? That is a definition of self-love. But if you were to define it for yourself, what would you say?
I think me personally, like, self-love for me has always been being in tune with myself.
Yeah.
I honestly think the love that I've grown over the years has been that, like, I've had to be in tune with myself and really accept myself in all aspects.
Right.
And accepting myself in all aspects, meaning like my personality, my characteristics, you know, my body, my sexuality, like all of these things encompass for me like self-love.
Right.
Because I had to accept all of these things for me to realize that I'm worth loving myself.
Yeah.
You know, instead of projecting that love to other people so much. It's like, dang, I had to look into myself and be like, dang, I do like this about me. You know?
Yeah. And like the way you say that. I like the way that you said, like, having to accept, because there's a lot of parts of us that we're still trying to understand and might not be so pretty, right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Everything's pretty about me. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe not. I know my attitude's not sometimes, but okay.
Physical.
Okay.
You're beautiful, babe.
I'm beautiful?
You're beautiful.
Tell me again.
You're beautiful, baby.
Thank you.
Anyways, I'm talking about some of the things that we might see as imperfections, some things that society might not be ready for when it comes to diagnosis, when it comes to mental health, you know, having to accept that we are maybe wired differently sometimes.
Ooh. Right? Now that's a big one. Being wired differently than what society, the norm of society really has for, you know, for us, was a big thing for me, because I grew up, as I mentioned, as a preacher's kid. So both of my parents very heavily in church, and me as well, like growing up. My father, a head minister, my mother, evangelist. So, you know, what I saw and what I was presented with sometimes didn't align with who I felt I was.
Right.
You know, growing up in a family that we went to church literally 4 days a week, you know, and then on Sunday we was in church from 7:30 to 7:30 sometimes, like, you know, so that was my identity as a young teen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Making sure you had stockings on, making sure your stockings match your shoes, making sure you had that skirt right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I grew up. And then I started realizing, like, I don't like wearing skirts. I don't want to put on stockings. But what did that make me wrong? Because that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
And also, like, when you mentioned, like, I wore this, I wore that.
Yeah.
Did you ever know the purpose to why you had to wear these things?
No, it's just what I grew up seeing and what I felt was expected out of me. Now, let me say that again. What I felt was expected out of me.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this. Short story. The way that I came to myself of, like, even my clothing, because I do dress masculine and I enjoy dressing in men's clothes. Like, I feel like I look good in them, but I also feel like I look good in women's clothes too. But I always felt like I just wanted to be more masculine.
Yeah.
There was something more masculine about me. I had this one friend, and she doesn't even know this story because I never had a chance to tell her, right? So I grew up in California and I moved to Connecticut. So I kept in touch with this one girl that I went to school with, and I started following her on social media. This is when downlink and stuff was on. You know what I'm saying? So this one girl, like, I started seeing her dress more masculine. I'm like, and it was one thing that she had that I was like, yo, I need that. She had a wallet, right, with the chain on it. I thought that joint was hot at the time, right? And she used to wear baggy clothes and stuff like that. And I wanted that. That was like when I saw her, because she was the first for me, right? I saw her wear that and I'm like, yo, why can't I just do that?
Right.
And everybody be okay with me. Right. Why can I not just dress like that instead of, like, dressing feminine type of thing. I wanted to have baggy clothes. I wanted to have the flannels. I wanted to, that's the way I wanted to present myself.
Right.
And it was that one girl that I saw that she had the courage to do it. And ever since that, I dressed the way that I wanted to dress. There was no question after that. That
she literally inspired you.
She literally inspired. Like, I was like, and nobody said nothing. And I think that was the thing. No one said anything. Or if they did, they didn't say it to her, or they didn't put it on the platform of where she was. It was just like, dang, that's her. And that was dope for me. You know what I'm saying? And that was when that's not when I figured out that I like girls. I knew I liked girls. You know what I'm saying? But that was the moment that I felt like I accepted that I was not the norm that I've always lived.
Yeah.
And ever since that literally, it was like, no, Janae, like, you could do this for yourself. And then ever since that day, I started dressing more masculine. Did my family have questions? No one said anything.
So in this whole time, you just felt like this is what I had to be until you saw someone else dress differently and say, I like this.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you really quick before I go into like my identity and my definition of self-love.
Yeah.
For you, like, how was that transition? You mentioned that nobody asked you, like nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
But how were you having to like change? And were you scared to see other people's reactions? Were you,
like I said, I grew up a PK. Like, if anybody knows about growing up as a preacher's kid, like, you feel like you have certain expectations to withhold, right? So by doing what I felt like I wanted to do, that was just the step I needed. That was the confidence I needed. So after that, that's when it is like, I went to California, started dressing masculine, came back, like, I promise it was like 3 weeks later. And my older sister threatened me. She was like, if you don't come out to mommy, I'm coming out to mommy for you. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So I was like, at that point, I had that much courage.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my sister, like, kind of egged me on, you know what I'm saying? But it was already in me that I ain't changing. I'm not going back. You won't see me the same way again because now I got comfortable. Yeah. I literally was comfortable in the skin that I was in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and the skin was like literally at the time was my clothes, was my skin. Because like I felt if my outward appearance was able to withstand any type of judgment that my family would have had or my mother would have had, then I felt like then my inside could be like totally, I guess, in tune with that as well.
In tune, like you mentioned,
like because for me it went hand in hand. It was like, Janae, you love yourself enough that you're going to come out to whoever and you don't care about how they feel. That you either accept me or you don't accept me. I was ready to take on that.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, it was like, okay, now what are we going to do? And I did. I sat down with my mother and told her, like, yeah, I'm gay. She was like, oh, okay. Like, it was like, all right, anything else? You know what I'm saying? But like, I had to come to love who I was and love that this was okay for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally was like, this is okay for me. So if it's not okay, like, I prepared myself that if it wasn't okay for anybody else, it was okay for me. And whatever consequences that was going to come behind that, it was going to have to come, because I wasn't turning back.
Yeah.
There was no way I was turning back. After that, after my friend had showed me life.
Yeah. It was a freeing experience.
It was a freeing experience. I wasn't turning back. So like that was my first time really knowing what self-love felt like.
Yeah.
That so to wrap it all up for you, my definition of self-love is like being in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
Like wholeheartedly, and being okay with the consequences that come behind it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because I'm willing to love myself so much that if anybody felt anything against me, it's all right, I got myself. Like, literally, it was like, and once you go to your mama with anything, man, you ready for the world, I feel like, at that point.
Yeah.
So, my definition of self-love is, literally just making sure that you're taken care of and being okay, and whatever comes after it is going to come after it.
I love that. Yeah, that goes a little bit into like what I feel self-love is for me. I think it's really eliminating comparison for me, because that was my whole life. So I think like self-love for me is really eliminating some of the comparisons that I've had all my life. For many people, even at when I was younger, I feel like I was what's a thing that camouflages?
The chameleon.
The chameleon. Ooh. Yeah, I felt like a chameleon because really? I'm like, yes, I'm like, okay, where can I fit in to be like other people, to be accepted? Right. But at the same time, when I was doing all these things, I felt uncomfortable. And I think I felt uncomfortable is because, like you were saying, like I didn't feel in tune with myself. I just felt in tune with other people. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. So because you felt in tune with other people, you were like misleading yourself, right? Because you thought that that's who you were,
right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, people liked me. People liked this outfit. Oh, okay, then I love myself. You know.
Okay.
For my whole life, really. Until I believe I came to Virginia. When we came to Virginia, I feel like maybe a little bit before. Okay. But I think even more now. Yeah. I eliminated a lot of that comparison, and still am. I think there's a work in progress there, especially with social media and everything. Yeah. I have to continuously work on myself to shut that voice and that comparison. And also just understanding that, and that's a huge one that we are working on ourselves too, is allowing for people to judge. Ooh, right? Yes. I think self-love is knowing like I am comfortable with who I am. And I know that I am not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. Or a cup of coffee, rather. You better say maybe that. Some people like it lighter, some people like it darker. Yeah. That's on them. That doesn't define who I am as a person. And I'm okay with that. And I'm learning to be okay with that. Yeah.
Because judgment is there. Yeah. Judgment will always be there. And that's why I was saying that, like, it didn't matter about the consequences. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right, yes. Afterwards. Yeah. Because consequences could be good or bad. Definitely. You know, but like you just have to prep yourself. Yeah. Yeah. That those consequences are going to come. Right. And if it's bad, it may come through judgmental eyes, judgmental words. Yeah. All of that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, knowing that even in social media, even when you're progressing, even when you're literally like, elevating, people are going to judge that too. People are going to find a way to put you down. Yeah. And that comes from a lot of, self-esteem issues from other people trying to compare and everything like that. But you have to be ready for that type of stuff. Yeah. And you have to just allow yourself to just be comfortable in your skin. Like what so I'm just curious on, do you have a specific like time that it was like I guess an enlightening moment for you that is like, damn, Tanya, yep, you come first. You love you.
Yeah, no, definitely. So coming to Virginia, I think definitely was a different space where I can remove myself from the judgment that was so hard on me. Okay. My family, what they expected of me type thing. Our culture always defining who we are based on how we look. Definitely all the time. Especially our image being skinnier, how to get skinnier. Yeah. While still feeding you so much food. But anyways,
for both of our cultures, like for real, like, because in the Black culture, we show love through like what we're cooking, right, and like feeding you. And Dominicans, y'all definitely show love through food and making sure that you're feeding, your loved ones and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I had to remove myself from there, and in that, being able to find a community that really accepts you for who you are, Okay. Also, being in the mental health field, I think learning that, being more mindful of oneself, I think really helps that. Okay. But I think to answer your question, the biggest part was when I wore a crop top. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Now, mind you, it wasn't the easiest journey, right? I was like, okay, I was, putting it down a little bit. And then I was like, what if, like, who cares if they look at me? I'm like, honestly, and that's the part that I was like, do they pay my bills? Do they come home to me? Do they, they're a snippet of my life. I'm seeing them for 1 second and that's it. So why does it matter? And so then I just began just walking, and I just remember, I think we were in Oceanfront. We were in Virginia Oceanfront, and I was just like, and it felt so freeing to be able to be like, oh well, they're gonna judge, but I like this outfit on me.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's just being able to quiet that noise for me is.
I like the way you said that. Self-love. Quiet that noise for you.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
That's what's up. Definitely. Okay. So the first time you wore a crop top.
Yes. First time.
All right. And that's where you learn to love not only who you are inside, but also like your outward appearance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Definitely my outside. I think a lot of it was more centered around my outside appearance, and then that kind of did a trickle effect on my inner as well. Okay. Because I do have and still continue to have a lot of challenges with feeling my own judgment on the way that I speak sometimes. When it comes to my ADHD, trying to, function in life with ADHD, that's another topic that I think we definitely should discuss. But I think learning to accept that about myself and saying, okay, these are different quirks of me, but it should be loved also.
Yeah.
And I see that love through you and the love that you give me and the people in my life
that
love me, right?
So, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah. I never knew that. I love hearing like the actual time that it just clicked.
Yeah.
And and that's how like if you are not a person that you feel like has a lot of self-love, but like you put off a lot of love, I feel like it's important to sit and evaluate even the love that you're giving off to other people.
Right.
And I say that for the simple fact is that, how old are you? You know what I'm saying? Like you're a 35-year-old woman that has just now came to realize what self-love, like the full definition of self-love for yourself.
Definitely.
So it happens in different timing because I feel like my definition was I experienced that back in my early 20s, mid 20s, of my definition. But I feel like that definition continues to come along the journey with you because you're going to continue. You're going to always be redefining who you are. So that means your definition of your self-love may also change.
Yeah. But I want to go back to what you mentioned about, giving others love before you give yourself too. And I think that also comes from or stems from, like you mentioned earlier, with family and saying, you have to love yourself, but then showing us something different. So in our minds, I feel like in a sense we tend to then play that role of, okay, in order for other people to love me, I have to give them so much. So dang. That was kind
nuggets. You better be giving these nuggets. Yeah.
So how do I turn that around and being like, no, I don't have to give all of this in order for them to love me. Like I love giving stuff to people, yes, but that's not going to define the way that they love me.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And so I guess that that goes into us talking about self-care in different ways that we show how we're caring for ourselves, not only just to care for ourselves, but what you went back to, so others could see that we do take care of ourselves before we're able to take care of others.
Right.
Because think about, like, if we go back, and that stems from us saying our mothers, taught us to take care of ourselves first, but we saw them taking care of everybody else before they took care. I can't remember seeing a time where back when I was a kid where my mother wholeheartedly took care of herself. Could she have been doing it when I wasn't seeing it or didn't recognize at the time what it was? Of course. Yeah. But why can't we show people how we care for ourselves?
Right.
So what are some things that you do for, like, just a couple things that you do for, like, your self-care?
Yeah. Putting that in practice. I think one of the things that self-care for me, I goes aligns with something that I want to do for myself. So I'm part of a dance crew.
Okay.
I'm so excited about that. And so being able to show myself in my art, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely art. Yeah.
Yeah. through these shows that I do. I think it's really nice to be able to be around a community who accepts that and actually cheers that on.
Yeah, yeah. So you're taking care of yourself and doing something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. Definitely doing a hobby or something that you don't have to like put so much pressure on, really, and just being able to do enjoyable, something fun for yourself to fill your cup, right? To be able to fill yourself up. Then, when I fill myself up, I feel rejuvenated to give on to others as well, and give that inspiration to also be that type of person too. So I think that's one of the ways for me.
I think the biggest way that I do self-care, honestly, is therapy. Like that's honest therapy, and like there's 3 top ones for me, right? So going to therapy is number 1 for me. The gym. I know. Wait, see it right there. Ooh. Feel it. Wait, I ain't even flexing yet.
Oh.
Man, come on. You be blaming me. Nah, but for real, like the gym, when I get really anxious about situations and stuff, if I go into the gym, like I'm able to like move my body, sweat it off. Like that is my number 1 self-care, not only for my body, but also for my mind. It helps me. And then I like to gain a lot of knowledge too. So the third way for my self-care is definitely reading. I love reading and listening to like self-improvement books and just books that are going to fill my soul, that I'm able to like gain some type of information about, you know what I'm saying? Like about the world or just about myself and different habits to be able to like grow in and stuff.
What are some books you're listening to right now?
Dang, why you gotta put me on the spot? Well, I did just finish. It's not a a self-help book, but I did just finish the memoir of Cicely Tyson.
Ooh.
Yo, that I recommend that book to anybody. Like it was a really good book.
Yeah.
And right now I'm also reading the 5 a.m. Club, which is amazing. It is really, it's putting my mind, and I actually listen to it at like 5 a.m. because I get up that early.
Yeah.
So that book is really putting a lot of things into perspective for me. Yeah. So
I know we said a lot here. There's maybe a lot more that we can go into, but I think this really wraps up a little bit of what we feel self-love and acceptance is to us and our journey, and knowing that our journey is not clean and cut, right? We do have challenges, as we all do. So I want to be able to allow yourself to give a little bit of grace that, this is a journey that you're going through and that it's not going to be easy, but it is possible. So I'm wondering, how about
possible for a plain yellow pumpkin? I'm sorry.
Did she watch that though? Anyhow.
I bet you she don't even know what movie that come from. So stop playing with me.
I don't even know where the first movie came from.
Exactly. So where did that movie come from?
Anywho, let's see from you guys. What are some of the things that you might do? Some habits maybe that you create throughout your life that has helped you be more in tune with yourself and love yourself and learn to accept yourself more. I'm wondering what that is.
Yeah.
We want to know.
We want to know. Tell us more. Yeah, like, and if you haven't found that, now hearing our stories and our experience, what do you think that you can implement into your life to kind of find that in yourself?
Yeah.
And you may be doing it and just not recognizing that that is your acceptance to yourself.
Right.
That something that you do today that you didn't do 2 days ago may be that first start of your journey of self, love and self acceptance. And you not even be aware.
Right. And thinking that, like we said, what we pay attention to grows and it's like a muscle.
Yeah.
You could do 2 minutes of that and not even realize it, and you already started that journey for yourself. Yeah. So just being able to allow yourself to give that time to expand that a little bit more.
And with anything, while you're on a journey, like you have to give, like Tanya has said before, give yourself grace, and don't think about it so hard. But this week, we want you to think about all, I don't want to say all your life, but think about journeys that you have already taken. Think about steps you've already made and write it down. Write down how you show yourself self-love. where does your self-love come from? And what are the experiences that you've had already or that you want to have moving forward?
Yeah.
So do that for yourself this week. And then we want you to share. Like, please share it with us. Write it in comments. So we could know that we're actually, sharing our journeys and sharing our experiences. And someone may be going through the same thing that we're going through. My experiences were coming out, and that's how I first started my self-love journey. Tanya's experience was her body, her body image of herself. And one thing for sure that we both have done is that we cut down all the noise around us in order to find that self-love.
Absolutely.
And that is the most important thing. And if you need to cut out the noise around you, then that's what you have to do, because you are the most important person in your life. Regardless if you have a family, if you're a mother, a father, a sibling, you are the most important person in your life. So you have to take care of yourself first before you can go and take care and love everybody else around you.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So share with us.
Share, comment, like, please. And then also share any topic that you would like to discuss with us, you want us to discuss.
Yeah.
That's important for you. I think we can bring it into our discussions.
Please do. We want to hear more from you. We don't want to just be talking to a camera. We actually want you guys to interact with us so we can know that what you want to hear about and the topics that you feel like are important to you, so we can expand on it and hopefully we have some experience in it. Yeah, please share all of the topics that you may want us to talk about. We have a wide range of experience, y'all, like, to be honest. So I don't want you to feel like a topic that you put down we may not be able to talk about, because even if we don't have the experience, I'm pretty sure that we could reach out to others, bring people in to give some of this goodness out to y'all.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah. So that wraps up our first episode with Growing with the Greens. So excited. And here's for more to come.
All right, more to come. We out of here. Yeah.